Hey guys, all right, so tonight we are working on our ship's wheel here. Um, I am going to cut some veneers. We're going to use padauk and walnut for our ship's wheels. I'm going to make two of them to start. I'm not sure. We'll kind of see which one comes out better, which one we like more. And then eventually I might put a second helm outside. So I'll have a ship's wheel to go there that'll match the rest of the boat when it comes time. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some veneers. We're going to try to get this pinstriping effect, as you see here. Now, this is just an old blank I had made probably a couple of years ago, and just a turning blank. And so I'll cut strips of veneer. We'll glue them onto here, and then after that, we'll cut our wedges out. And I'll show you the whole process as we go. This is a little bit of woodworking stuff as opposed to boat building. We are kind of in the dead of winter. It's actually snowing out right now, and this is just great indoor work to do, keep us moving forward. So hope you guys enjoy, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I'm cutting veneer, it's super thin, it actually slides underneath my fence here, so I'm just going to put a solid block of wood and I'll remove everything, just to have something solid to run against. Alright guys, so what you see me doing here is, I actually make veneer tape. I don't have any, so I'm just using regular packing tape for this. It's super sticky. I'm just taping all these veneers together, and that'll allow me to take any gaps out of the joints here between the two. And when I'm doing it, I'm just pulling a little bit of tension on this tape here, just to be sure there's no gap. And then stick it down, and then on to the next. Alright, so I now have all my veneer stacks taped up the same length as my wood. If you look real close, nice tight joints. That's kind of what the point of the tape is, to pull it tight and get those joints just as tight as you can. Hopefully I have enough extra I can actually just cut those joints out, but if not, if it ends up in there, you won't see a major discrepancy in the wood color. Alright, so for glue, we are going to use Titebond 3. It's a waterproof interior-exterior glue. I figure that should be sufficient considering it's going to be on a boat and it will be inside. I intend to actually seal this in a epoxy resin later. That's how I'll seal the whole wheel, so it'll be kind of moisture resistant at that point. Yeah, so that's the plan. We're going to use Titebond 3, and we'll start gluing everything together. Put tape on the middle board. I don't need veneer on the middle board the way it's going to work out. So I put tape on the middle board just to give a good flat clamping surface, and I can clamp multiple together at the same time. I didn't want anything to stick to it, obviously, so I taped the middle boards. I'll peel all the tape off later. I just about ran out of clamps here, so had to make do with what we had, and we'll let everything dry tonight and peel it all off tomorrow. All right, so we're going to cut the wedges for our rings for the steering wheel. What I'm using here is the Seg Easy wedgie sled.
It's much easier to look at and say.
Seg Easy wedgies. This is the 16 segment piece. If you guys ever want to do this, look it up online on YouTube. There's a wonderful video how to make this sled. And again, I actually bought the actual plastic pieces, fit in there nice. Like I say, look them up, Seg Easy. So I did the drawing on this, and my segments should be from long point to long point, right around 3 3/16 of an inch long, and that'll give us a 16-inch diameter steering wheel when we're done. So yeah, we're just gonna measure this out real quick and go from there. All right, so this is gonna be. With this, I gotta add an 1/8 inch for the blade. Right, so 1/8 for the blade. So 3 3/16. So I'm going to go 3 5/16 to the edge of the sled. Right. So 3 5/16. That'll be the edge of the sled. And we have a little bit of wiggle room here, so I think we'll be okay. Alright guys, so tonight we are just going to glue this ring together. This is going to be the center ring for the steering wheel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put spacers in 2 joints directly across from each other. That'll allow all the rest of them to become tight, get glued, and then I'll hit them quick on the disc sander. And just make sure these 2 joints are nice and straight at that point. Just using coffee stirrers, cut into short sections. And yeah, a couple of long hose clamps tied together. After this, I will put it on the lathe. I'll smooth down one surface, and I will continue to glue the other 2 sections on in place, and that'll make sure all the veneers stay straight when I do glue them up. So, all right, thanks for watching. Hope you guys like, share, and subscribe. I know we're getting a little bit off of the boat subject here, but like I say, we do a little bit of everything here, so. We're going to try to do most of our own stuff, you know, for the most part. And, yeah, hopefully we can all learn something, including ourselves. Right, and then on these, what I do is just pick up every other one. We glue both sides every other one. Make sure you have plenty of glue. Drop it in, move on to the next, all the way around, and then throw the clamp on. Make sure everything's as flat as we can get it. There is plenty of room on this to clean up any uneven surfaces if it isn't perfectly flat. Stirrers to take up any excess gap here, and this should ensure a nice tight ring all the way around. All right, and I'm happy with that. let the glue dry. Tomorrow we'll clean up these 2 joints real quick on the sander, and we will glue the rest of the ring together and get it set up on the lathe. What I'll do is I'll unclamp it now, and I made up, I just took a piece of scrap marine grade ply here, and I put self-adhesive sandpaper on it. I'm just going to smooth these 2 surfaces out so everything's nice and straight, and then I'll get rid of this little gap right there, and I'll be able to just glue this together in one nice solid ring with no gaps. Okay. We'll save the stirrers for the next wheel. So we are going to do 2 wheels, one out of walnut and one out of padauk. The padauk wheel, I am going to do a brick pattern, and that will involve cutting some more veneers and inserting veneers in every joint all the way around. I'm not sure if we're going to show that on camera. It gets kind of repetitive, so. Right. Like that. And literally all I gotta do is just kind of basically, I'm just looking for it to be sanded all the way across. That'll tell me it's flat. And I'm moving way all over the place here. Sorry, guys. So now, look at this. Should be nice and tight. Alright, so for the padauk wheel, I'm going to do like a brick type pattern. So what I need to do is cut veneers to fit the side of this here. So whatever this measurement is across and the height. So I'll cut all those now, and then when I glue them up, I'll just insert the veneers in, and then when I do the next 2 layers the same way, it'll resemble a brick pattern. Alright guys, so what I've done is I've measured this glue face here. That's my wedge. I've measured the length of this glue face, which comes up to just shy of 2 inches. So I'm going to make all my pieces 2 inches. I just put a stop here, clamped on a piece of wood as a stop. I don't have a fence on this saw. And I'm just going to cut a bunch of rectangles now. Should be pretty straightforward. The glue is dried on the padauk in the intersection. I'm going to sand it up on the board just like I did with the walnut. Fair up those joints quick, see if we can give it a little bit better angle here doing this. These are really good to start with, so it shouldn't take too much. And then I'll glue this together and let it sit. I have to figure out a way to mount the other walnut section on the lathe, and then we'll be ready to start kind of cleaning up the surfaces and glue the next 2 rings on. Alright guys, so what I've decided to do to hold it on the lathe for now is cut a block to fit in between here, and I'm just going to hot glue it in place with some heavy duty hot glue. That'll give me a place to grab it with my chuck. I might have to drill a hole in here. Not a big deal, but I'll probably just put the center against it. And I just got to true up the face, so it's only going to be a temporary thing, and then I'll make a jam chuck once we start getting everything round. So that'll be the plan. Alright guys, so I now have this mounted in the lathe. I glued a board in between here, just use some hot glue. Everything's measured from side to side, like 4 or 5 different spots, got my center point, and I just have it held in here with my cone center. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna surface the face of this just to make everything nice and flat and smooth, and then I'll be able to actually put my next set of blocks on here. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna wrap the whole thing in some blue tape just to kind of make sure it doesn't blow apart on me. It is all glued, but just for safety's sake, so if you see a little bit of blue tape on there, that's the reason. So that'll be the plan. I'm gonna just tape it real quick, and then I'm just gonna surface the face of this, and we'll be ready to glue on the next ring. Guys, so I turned the face down. It's nice and flat now, and I'm just using a straight edge to just confirm that there's no gaps here. No gaps on either side, and it's pretty good. Our wheel will be about 1.5 inches thick, so I have quite a bit I can still lose off of this, so I wasn't too worried about cutting it down to get it nice and flat here. Tomorrow, or maybe tonight if I get ambitious, I will glue on the next ring, and then we'll flip it around. I'll get the overall width of the middle of all this. It should be somewhere right around 1/2 inch. And then I'll turn the other side down. We'll do the same exact thing, glue the final ring on, and we'll be able to ship everything. And well, nice little pile of shavings, and this is what you get when you do wood turning. So, all right, guys. So I'm just gonna give you a real time, just a quickie on the hub. This is just gonna be kind of a test piece, and it's more so Cassie can work on her part of this wheel. So if this works out, I will do it a little bit fancier, but I'm just gonna do a quick piece for now. And what I do is I just cross the corners, put them between centers here. Best part of walnut is right there. And yeah, throw a little bit of finish on there. This isn't really a good finish, but you guys still see the effects here. And that'll be the hub.
And that's a wrap for this part. Come back next week to see part 2 of the wheel build. We're going to leave you with a little teaser of why I needed the hub in the first place. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week.
Action.
What are we doing?
You can get one of those little snappy things like action.